which means you're in for a literal treat. Actually, turns out you're not. Dusty was supposed to bring some delicious treats for Title Pie. We didn't get anything.
Nothing. Well, Brew would be very disappointed.
Busy watching the Boilermakers, I guess.
Exactly right.
Well, 20 teams will enter the NBA playoffs. They don't all have the same chances to win. To break it all down is first things first. What used to be our most delicious segment. We got nothing. It's just a blank table.
I mean, it's no way to start. This is our first Title Pie of this season.
Yeah, no kidding.
And no boysenberry, no banana cream, none of the above. This is probably why Brew's not here today. I am as upset as you. For people that don't remember, obviously, it's just how big is your slice of the pie.
We know how it works.
Is how good of a chance you have to win the title. But not everyone gets a slice of pie.
Yeah, including me.
Including Wild. So, 12 teams have slices.
Okay.
18 don't. Here are the teams that were the closest but left, I guess, not on the cutting room floor. Cavs, Warriors, Pelicans, Kings.
Wow.
And listen, I just can't see a scenario where any of these teams win the title. You're a even 1% chance for any of those teams.
Okay, I'll save my
please
commentary.
Do. 1%er, the New York Knicks. Maybe I've been spending too much time around Ramsey. I don't know.
Thrilled with
But Jalen Brunson, good playoff performer, getting healthy maybe at the right time. Maybe because Tibbs drove them into the ground early, they missed time, and now they'll be ready for the postseason. And given the fact that the NBA is now allowing teams to defend and be physical more, maybe that is actually good for the Knicks. 1%, 2%, the Mavs. This is purely based on Luka.
Okay.
33, 9, and 8. Those are his playoff career averages. 33, 9, and 8. We haven't seen Luka and Kyrie on a playoff run together because obviously last year they missed the playoffs again. 2%. If they run this postseason 50 times in a simulation, does Luka just get red hot for 2 months?
Yeah,
one
man,
of them?
pass
There we
that.
Okay, 3%. The Clippers. This was halved in the last week once we saw Kawhi limp off the court. James Harden, the post-All-Star swoon, classic one, Wilds.
Yep.
17 and 8 on 41% from the field. So, but because we did see them have a 6-week stretch where they looked as good as just about anybody, can't be dismissed. 4%, Minnesota. Yes, they're silly. But they are a team that has given Denver some trouble. It's hard to give Denver trouble. They're a team that has, if Karl Anthony Towns comes back, we don't know. Ant-Man, really, because of Towns' absence, has been able to take the full control of that team. Maybe that'll be good if Cat comes back and Ant is the clear number one. Give him 4%. 5%, OKC. They've got a legit MVP candidate, young and exciting team, and the original Young Thunder, they went from 50 wins to 55 wins to what would have been 58 wins in a regular season. It was a round one Lakers loss followed by a conference finals loss followed by a finals loss for the KD, Harden, Russ Big Three. I wonder where this team is in that progression. My guess is where they were the first Thunder were. Round 50 wins, losing round one, but we'll see.
Round one?
Well, if they get the Lakers in round one, yeah, I think and that matchup could happen. We'll see. All right, speaking of Lakers, 6%. LeBron, length, Anthony Davis, and the fact that in the playoffs your rotations are shortened, which means fewer decisions for Darvin Ham, and fewer Darvin Ham decisions is good for the Los Angeles Lakers. 7%, Phoenix. This is purely a bet on Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant, he and Giannis are having the two most underrated, great seasons by all-time great players that I can remember.
There we go.
And so
Clip that off and send it to J.J. Redick.
Why would I send it to him?
Because J.J. Redick wants us being nicer to Kevin Durant.
Oh, well, listen, I turned over a new leaf about Kevin Durant a couple of years ago. I decided, you know what? We've crossed the Rubicon on KD criticism. There we go. So 7% for the Thunder, 8% for Philly. Maybe Joel Embiid being free. Remember how everyone said, oh, the Lakers won because LeBron got those 2 months off. He was fully fresh for the playoffs.
Everybody did.
For Philly, could Embiid, if it's the reporting's right, that he's supposed to come back a couple weeks before the end of the regular season. Use those couple weeks to get in shape and then get back on the tier.
Remember that LeBron took those 2 weeks off that one time, too.
Okay.
Anytime he's rested.
They didn't win the title that year, Wilds. Next, Miami, 9%.
The finals.
My faith is dropping. They've lost 4 in a row. Yeah. This is the time of year where they're supposed to be turning it on. With that said, I still, even with my faith dropping, probably have them with a greater share of title pie than anybody else would once they, steal this segment the way they've stolen all of our other wonderful segments. And I trust Jimmy. I trust Spo. The team should get healthier. Now to the top 3. Boston at 10%. I'll be honest. They deserve a bigger slice.
Okay.
I just can't get there.
Why?
I just don't trust their coach at all.
He's playing.
And when the coach is like indignantly like, yeah, damn straight I'll block another player's shot. What do you expect from me? That's how we do it. It's just silliness. And I really like Tatum. But when he's going to have to go up against these other juggernauts, I don't know that I trust him. But they have the point differential, the record, the starting lineup, all of a team that should be a 30% slice. 20%, Milwaukee Bucks. Weird mental spot for them, which is they know the coach, their best players, everyone, they're only going to be judged by the postseason.
Yep.
And they know they can't catch Boston. So I don't necessarily expect them to look amazing throughout the rest of the regular season because they know for them the entirety of whether or not this was considered success or failure is going to be based on how they do for a couple weeks in May and June, if they get to June. And then the biggest slice, but probably not as big as Wiles would like, the Denver Nuggets. They're on a tear. They clearly want the 1 seed. Joker's being Joker.
Yeah.
The team is mostly healthy. And right now, they look like the scariest team in the league.
Pretty good.
That is the first edition of Title Pie.
Solid title pie. If we had, the only way this could be better is if we had some
Actual
sort of,
pie to eat.
Yeah, maybe next week.
No, Purdue's probably going to be playing March Madness next
Oh
week.
my
So,
goodness,
how can Dusty go out
Okay,
there?
Ramsey.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a huge Knicks pie there. Okay, I've got 3 teams I want to discuss. First, the Warriors. It just feels like the Warriors need an incumbent slice. As former champions, the same reason like Luka could go crazy, this guy could go crazy. You know that they sort of step up. Draymond's on the record as saying, it's hard for me to get up for regular season games. I'm a champion. I buy that, although it sounds like strange, but I get it. Once you have a bunch of hardware, you can't really, maybe you're going to turn the switch.
So here's my pushback on that. Last year, when they were the defending champs, I wouldn't give them a slice of pie. You guys all said I was underrated.
But that was a weird.
And then,
we know that team was.
Well, I don't know that this team's better. I don't know that Kuminga's ascension offsets Wiggins plus Clay's descent. I really don't. And Steph is as good. I don't know if Steph he's not as good as ever, but Steph's really, really good still. But the Warriors last year needed a Steph Curry masterpiece to get out of round 1, and then they got worked in round 2. Yeah. And so I just don't think they're a better team than they were last year, and they're in a far tougher seeding position.
Yeah, I'll give them 1 slice. Then we got to talk about the
Take the slice from the Knicks?
The Lake Show. No, I'm not going to.
Take it from the
Lake Show. This is a graphic on defense that Josh pulled together. Remember I said defense wins championships?
I remember that.
I wish I had said that and made it a thing back in 1920 because that's when they won the title. Then, of course, they
1920? This is good for them, man. LeBron's been playing a long time.
2019, 2020 season. But right now they are 17. They have the 17th ranked defense.
Yeah.
I just feel like.
No, I
get them down at 2% slice.
The reason I won't is because I think that LeBron shooting the way he's shooting and that offense post All-Star break being ranked the way it is.
You're not worried about regression to the mean? Remember LeBron was like 1 for 22.
But he's been shooting this way all year.
He's crushing.
He's at 40% for the season. And so that piece of it, plus, I meant what I said. I know it was kind of a shot at Darvin Ham, but I meant it. In the playoffs, when you have the rotations are lessened because LeBron and AD are both playing closer to 40 minutes. The LeBron was going to play 32 minutes a game thing lasted literally 0 games. He's playing 36, and then in the playoffs it'll be more. I think that works in their favor. I think the length, the experience, and the fact that their top line guys are going to be playing more than they are now works in their favor more than necessarily some of the deeper teams across the league like Minnesota.
Now it's the time everyone's been waiting for. I reveal my pie, and I'll give you 3
You're
reasons
doing one?
why. Yeah, it didn't take our graphics team very long to do this, but I'll give you the 3 reasons. Best record since the All-Star break. Denver is 10-1. Their only loss was an overtime loss against Durant, who went crazy, and Joker just missed a last-second shot. Celtics are playing well. Of course, they lost to Denver. OKC actually has the Nuggets number, but we're okay. Bucks, and then Frisky Magic. I was early on that one. At home, when we get to the playoffs, they want the #1 seed because when they're at home, they are the best. So they've decided, post-All-Star, let's flip the switch. Let's get home field advantage, home court advantage. I actually call it, Nick, not field.
Yeah. Sorry. No, that's right.
And then the altitude starts to become a thing. I know it's a thing normally, but also when you're flying back and forth, supposedly that hurts you even more. And then finally, Nuggets starting 5. I'm a big fan of consistency. And here's the #1 reason I don't love Milwaukee as much as you do. New coach, new kind of go-to guy. If Milwaukee, or when Milwaukee gets bounced out of the playoffs, everyone's going to say, you know what?
They needed more time together.
They need a little more time. Watch next year, a full year of Dame and Giannis gelling. It's a little bit of why I'm off on the Celtics. Like, come playoff time, Drew and Kristaps.
Sure.
This is a little strange. Meanwhile, Denver's had the same squad. They're like, well, let's do it again. And Aaron Gordon's out in, Sombor in the offseason, just gelling. So when they do this no-look pass, like, wow, how did they know? It's like they've been doing it for years, guys. That's why they know.
I think you make a bunch of compelling points. I think the point I was making about the Lakers shortening the rotation helps the Nuggets a lot, too, because I don't love the Nuggets bench, but I love their top starting 5. Those guys are playing more minutes. An interesting thing to watch. If I'm right that Milwaukee's going to win the East, I know Boston's the favorite, but let's just... Denver would not have home court against Boston. And I said that Milwaukee knows they can't catch Boston, so they're kind of just that's like, we're going to be the 2 or 3. If I were Doc Rivers, I would put a real priority on having a better record than Denver. So if you assume Denver's going to win the West, that you would have home court. I wouldn't look at it as we care about our seeding in the East. I would look at it as we are in a fight with Denver to see who would have the top seed if we play each other in the NBA Finals.
Also, just one note, I don't think that's fair.
What's not fair?
That if you're the #1 seed in the West, that you don't get home court advantage against the #2 seed in the East.
It's based on record. That's how it should be.
I know it's based on record.
Well, you could base on who wins the All-Star game.
Not fair.
What if it's 1 versus 1? Then what would you base it on?
That should be a record.
Oh, okay, got it.
But then what if it's 1 versus 2? What if it was 1 versus 3?
Yeah, that's happened before, and the 3's been the 1 seed. That's happened.
It should not be.
Okay, all right. Write to Adam Silver. He's your buddy. You used to consult with him.
That's not true. QB controversy.
No, we're not doing it.
Speaking of
we're not doing the segment. We're not doing it.
It's a great quote from Mac Jones coming up.